We are going live as we speak. We are live as we speak.
We are liver than alive.
Words from document box of logs. So we're live today, and that is good for us to be live. And we are going to do some pair programming today, which is very exciting.
So, I don't know. When did I check out to master? So this means I didn't do a thing. Log. Robert, you did this to me.
Yeah, interesting.
So, I don't know whether I was in the position where I was to pull. So I have these changes.
Awesome. You have changes. Awesome. Are you? What changes? What are you talking about? Talk to me.
From a pool.
You have some changes, which right. So those are the changes you brought.
Does Robert?
When you did a get pull.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And what about those red ones?
The thing I didn't. So
those are ones that you changed locally that didn't.
Oh yeah. So what happened? I think there was conflicts.
Right. I mean the you know. Yeah, you could probably just resolve that, but the easiest way might be to just set your local master to be the same as the remote master.
What's the command?
It's like get reset. Well, you need to check your remote, like get remote minus V. No, get remote minus -V minus V. Yep. And then you can see there that you clearly have upstream as the Rundfunk mit Wäschmann. So then you would say get reset upstream / master -- hard upstream. Exactly. You got it, man. You got it. Opa. No, you need a upstream master with no space. Upstream no, not hyphen, sorry. / upstream / Iswai kara. Now if you say GST,
yeah,
or get status. All right, very good now. So now you're ready to go. So you're going to, I'm going to go heat up my coffee. You're going to, so what you're going to do is you're going to, what are you going to do? Talk to me.
I don't know, what am I going to do? I'm going to open my
I think we're talking about working on issue, I can share it with you, issue number 847. Were we not? and then I guess it's the same kind of get yourself set up to work on a branch, and I'll be back. I guess so far no one's joined us from our meetup.
Yeah.
It's commented. We need to make like a recurring event, so people, it's kind of last minute, but anyways, I'll be back.
Okay.
I will be back. Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
What are you up to?
Yeah, I have this branch on.
Right, that's weird that you pulled in changes from.
What we did when I did pull from upstream, there were still some changes.
That's weird.
We did the reset map.
Yeah.
Then I did.
Yeah,
I did create a branch.
That one there wasn't the one. It was the one that was upstream / master.
Yeah. This.
And so you see the. So When did you pull in those changes were pulled in from where?
From upstream master. Yeah.
Well, if you no, well, I don't know. I mean, you can, maybe I'm wrong, but if you did get reset upstream master hard, then you shouldn't have any changes to pull in from upstream master. Are you sure you didn't run upstream develop?
I did run upstream develop, but there's no such a branch.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I forgot and ran.
Yeah.
Such a branch.
No, you don't want to do that anyways. Yeah.
Yeah.
So why did it pull in changes from upstream develop if you reset to upstream? I mean, upstream master if you reset to upstream master.
I think I just had in mind that we use develop mostly, so I was to type master, but I typed develop.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about those changes that got brought in.
Then I did
changes. Why were there changes if you reset to upstream master?
I'm not sure. Because let's show you the history. So
upstream master, yeah.
Did the reset.
Yeah. Then you created a new branch. Cool. Then you pulled in from develop and it said couldn't find. Then you pulled in from master and it pulled in a bunch of changes.
Yes.
Weird.
Then I went to my master.
Ah, yeah, weird.
To pull again. And my master got changes from upstream as well.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what we got. So we have create some historical data in our in our seed data. Create seed data. Let me see if I read brown bubbles. Yeah, so I remember he told us but I remember he said what did he say? So the historical data, he's loading them from this thing is called helper. Time 0. So for whichever time, I think you noted that these were milliseconds apart. Come here and add the data. Then do this travel to thing. Yeah, time traveling. I did not fully understand the concept, but yeah, they did. Create those. Yeah, so I just remember the thing with time traveling and the timestamps being seconds apart.
Well, no,
And
in
then,
this case, I think you're confusing two different tests, you know? So you're confusing a test that he was creating different times, but then wasn't doing anything to check about those times. So it wasn't really relevant to time travel. And then he left that spec and he came to this spec, which you can clearly see is setting times that are 1 day apart. Because you have time 0 is 8 days ago, time 1 is 7 days ago, time 2 is 6 days ago, and so on.
yeah. Okay, that explains the days. Yeah, I was like, why are they days and yet you're saying seconds?
No, that was a different test altogether. That, you know, is not relevant. So, and then he has data, you know, and then the data, he's passing in like the responses, which is something that we probably want to do, right? Because we want to create positive and neutral responses to the broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's setting some data where that's current, and then setting some data that is outdated.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's a 2, like to the time 8/1 second ago, minus 1 second ago. So that has like an ending.
Yeah.
And then travel to the 7 days ago and create a broadcast, and then iterate over the data hashes and create impressions for that broadcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then
Just not to cut you short, but how does this create data for the? How does, because this is a test, right? This is a test file, right?
Yeah.
How does this create data for the bubbles?
So I'm not sure I'm not sure if I understand what you mean by that. But I think in this context, like, well, I mean, I guess what's the name of the test? The name of the test file?
Broadcast spec.
Yeah, so it's creating statistics, right? So
yeah, it's creating.
And what's your question? How is it creating statistics, or how is it creating, yeah, like you said, how is it creating information for the bubbles? Like, so the bubbles are they pull in the information from the database, I guess, from the statistics. Yeah. So
yes.
What he's doing here is he's, like, you can see there on line 9, he's creating a context of historical data.
Yes.
And yeah, so then this is creating this stuff in the test database. Remember, we have like a development database and we have a test database.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is creating historical data in the test database, and then it's testing certain things, and then it's wiping out the test database before it goes on to the next test.
Okay.
So, I mean, the way he's doing this, you can almost like kind of just copy and paste it into the seed file, you know, and see if it works, I guess.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to ask. Yeah, I was going to ask that. I was expecting these changes to be made on a seed file, because it's the seed that feeds with data for, yeah.
No, because the seeds, we seed our data so that we can test things in a development environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like when we want to go visit the site in localhost 3000, or in this case localhost 4200, then we can grab that and we can go look at the you know, whatever broadcast page, and we have broadcasts that are created. So the broadcast or users, for example, you know, if we want to be able to log into the site, in this case, we can log in with third party. You know, we log in with third party, but like, for example, with website one or local support, we need to create a user so that we can log in and see what a user would see. But this is completely different. Like this is setting up like an environment that we can run tests against. So it doesn't want any information from the seeds. Just like, you know, if you think about like the cucumber test that we've written together, like it says like given the following users exist, and then it grabs the information from the table and it creates users, but it creates those users in the context of the test database, not in the context of, so it doesn't have anything to do with the seed file. Like you can run your seed file what you want to, and the test doesn't have access to those because that's going in the development database.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah. Sort of. But yeah.
I mean, so ask questions if it's not completely clear.
I'll just get the because you're breaking a lot when you're trying to explain that. So I think I'll just get it as we move along.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the bottom line is that this here is going to the test database, and then the test is going to check the information from the test database, and in the seed file, you're seeding to the development database.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
They're two different databases that they don't have any connection between the two, except for that they like have the same tables and the same columns, right?
Yes.
So you could, you could import the stuff if you wanted to, but okay. So I mean, there's different ways of doing this, I guess, like, and I guess do what's most logical for you next. And I'll just be here if you have questions,
So with the not like the test that we want to, like the data that we need is for the developed database, right? It's not for the test database.
Correct. I mean, I think you can answer, like, first of all, like, it's good to take a step back, and do you remember why we're doing this in the first place?
Yes.
Why?
Because the bubbles did not have data, the bubble chat.
Yeah, which
access it to do the changes with the keys, the legends. We wanted to change those legends, but then we found that we could only see 3 bubbles over there.
So if you go to the production
about it, yeah.
If you go to the production site, for example,
production site.
So it's like hundfunk-mit-beshmen.de. Mit-beshmen.de. No, Hund. Yeah, Hundfunk. Hundfunk. Hundfunki.
Oh, that.
Yeah, you can see how it's spelled there. Mit-beshmen.
It's difficult.
Hundfunk mit-beshmen. I can copy the link into the chat if it's easier, but probably. Yeah, there you go. The link's there. Actually, I copied the link. Yeah, I copied the issue, and then the second one's the link. Okay, cool. So you've come here, and that's going to load. And then if you go to like the visualization, right?
Where?
Visualization.
Visualization, okay.
Right? Because that's where the bubble chart is, right?
Yeah.
So then you go to changes over time.
Next, past week.
Changes over time. Page is not working. Oh, that's weird. Can you refresh it? There we go.
Yeah.
That's weird. Refresh it. Refresh it. Refresh it many times. Refresh it many times.
Here we have.
Oh, great. Cool. So, oh, what happened?
Yeah.
Go back to the site. Cool. So you see we have all these bubbles and we have all these different colors, and the legends have different colors. What did you do?
Okay. Song.
What?
The transmission is of the screen share is delaying that long.
Yeah. I think that.
Yeah,
Do you have some way of testing your internet speed? All right.
Speed test. Yeah.
Yeah.
First speed test.
I have a command line for mine, you know, like where I can just say speed test hyphen CLI and it tests it from the command line. But, you know, yeah, I can speed test CLI Mac. I sent you a link to the repo of the speed test people, and it uses Python, so you can just install it with pip install. You know?
Yeah. It's Python.
Yeah. So you can do pip install or easy install. I'm not sure which you use, but I think I used pip maybe. Now, while we're talking, I guess I'll run a speed test on mine. See what happens. Speed test. Speed test. I actually set it up as a cron job when I was dealing with internet issues to do a speed test every 5 minutes and then like save it to a temporary file and then I can look, you know.
Oh, nice. So how do I run it?
Has it installed? You can just say speed test CLI. Yeah, just run that from the command line. Yeah, exactly. There you go. So now that like will give you some feedback on like how far away it needs to grab a server. So it grabbed the server here in Nairobi, which was like 0 kilometers away. So that's cool. That's nice. Then yeah, so your internet is not So amazing, huh? Let's see what the upload is, because I found that the upload is maybe even more important than the download. I mean, at least for me it is. So your upload is actually greater than your download. So it looks like,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's probably varies. Like if you run it again, it'll probably be different the second time you run it. But it looks like maybe your issue is your download. Because like, well, you can have a look if you want into like the Google Hangouts, like their requirements, you know, like, but I was seeing that like if you're doing it with a group of 3 or more people, then, which, you know, wouldn't be the case right now, but if you're doing it with a group of 3 or more people, like you should have like 3 and 3.5 megabytes per second of download and upload. So, but maybe if I turn off my camera, maybe you will need to download less, and then it can improve. Yeah. So it looks like your upload is the problem. You know, you're consistently getting like, well, at least 2 times in a row right now, you know, you're getting like a little bit only over 1 megabyte per second of download, which is you know, very small, and then your upload looks fine, you know. So I mean,
yeah,
your upload should be enough, you know.
It's not accurate. Maybe the estimate, because some days it's often so much better.
Yeah.
Like I think it's always the same speeds, but
yeah, I mean, that's interesting. There in the browser, you got like you got where your download was 4 and your upload was less than 1. So I don't know. I mean, let me know if it gets better with my camera off, and then I can start maybe just without my camera on. So I don't know. I mean, I think maybe we should move on a little bit, and I think I might take a break here in 10 minutes, like, and see if you're still on, you know, in an hour or so from now. But so
okay.
Just before I do that, though, you know, I have a little bit more time. So so you can see here that you have all these balls, and you have like different colors, right, and stuff. So what database do you think that this is pulling from, all this data from?
It's the prod database.
Yeah, the production database, right? And then we have like kind of, I think in this case we have 3 databases, right? We have the production, and do you know the other 2? Exactly. So, and then we've already talked about the test database. So what we're really trying to do with the seeds file, right, is to populate the develop database, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what makes sense to you as a way of like, I guess like there's a couple different options. What makes sense to you as like a way to move forward with this?
Create the historical data in the seed file.
Yep. So you can do that, and then you can test that by running the seeds file. You know, another way you could do it is you could like enter in the console, like Rails console, and you can specify that you want like a sandbox, and then you can kind of start copying and pasting some of that information from the test into the console and see if it'll work, because that potentially could be a shorter feedback loop than if you do it in the seeds file. Like if you do it in the seeds file, you might find out that there's something wrong with the way you're doing it, and then it'll go through like a lot of steps until it errors out. Whereas if you do it in the Rails console, especially in the sandbox, then, you know, you just need to run those commands and not other commands, you know?
Okay.
So I'm not sure if you're set up locally to work on Hundved Investment. My guess is that you would not be, because you've been using
like I'd not been set up to use.
So
Hello.
yeah. So you don't. I don't know. I'm not sure why you're starting the server.
Yeah, I just want to see if it runs.
No, I mean, I think that you're not set up to work locally, because if you were set up to work locally, then you wouldn't have been using Docker all this time. So it's as you can see from there, you're not set up to work locally, or at least, or maybe you're not up to date. You could like try running yarn and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But
I don't think I've been using Docker for this.
What's that?
Hello?
What did you
Hello?
say? Hello?
I was just saying I don't think I've been using Docker for this. I think
Okay. Yeah, I might be getting confused with someone else.
host.
But Mike, you don't need to be starting the server. Like, I mean,
Yes.
feel free
Yes.
to. You don't need to be starting the server.
I should just not go at the server. Going to
If man, you're breaking up. I can't hear anything you're saying.
I couldn't hear you either, but now you're clear.
So you don't need to be starting the server. Like what you can be doing.
Wow. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. Can you hear me?
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me, man.
Yeah, but it's breaking still.